Okay, very hard-fought game today. Very much like what we anticipated. You know, watching film on these guys all week long, we talked about it with our players, with you guys. It's a really good team that we were going to play. And anytime you have a great player at quarterback like they do, it's going to be a challenge for you because it's hard to take a quarterback out of a game. He touches the ball every snap. And their defense, over not just this year, over years, has played really tough and very physical. And they've always played great special teams. So we're 3-1. That's all we could do today is to get to 3-1, and we did that. Proud of our guys on a week where kids could overlook the opponent because of the name of the school, and they really bought into practicing extremely hard. Had a physical week. We were extremely banged up going into the game, very low numbers, and so guys were out there playing a ton of snaps on special teams also. So. Obviously, we would have liked to finish better offensively in the second half. I do feel like there was some rhythm early, and then for whatever reason, the second half we weren't able to establish that. And our defense and special teams kept getting us great field position, and unfortunately, we weren't able to kind of blow the game out at that point. So I think what it came down to is we were able to run the ball decent in the first half and throw it, and then they made a decision to play a bunch of 8-man front, which left them man-to-man outside, and that kind of turned it into more of a passing game outside. And unfortunately, we weren't able to connect on those. We did get a pass interference there, but a number of big explosive plays in the passing game on the perimeter versus their corners we weren't able to hit, which would have dramatically changed the outcome of the game.
Were you surprised that they wound up playing a lot of single high one safety over the top?
No, because I think that goes back to what we've done through 3 games coming into this game with the ability to run the ball. You know, I think that team right there, had we been the team we were a year ago, the inability to run the ball effectively, that would have been a big drop 8, cover 2 day because that's a big part of their normal package. And they had shown that, and they didn't really do near as much as that because of the running game, and also the running game moving early. Kept them in those 8-man fronts. And when you get that, you don't a lot of times get as an efficient game from a completion percentage, but you got to hit some of those big plays. And you saw a number of big plays that either we just missed the throw or we dropped that really changed it. Just 3 of those completely changed the numbers for the day.
After they faked the field goal, you decided to throw the ball 3 straight times. Was it too early to run the ball?
Well, we just really thought that once again it was after the fake punt, obviously. Yeah. It became an 8-man front day, and so it was tough sledding in there. And they're a physical front, and when they had the safety in there, 8 guys, and put number 9 on the edge like they do, who's a great NFL player, it becomes a tough game inside. And so you gotta be able to hit those outside because you don't want to leave the game saying, okay, these guys came in here, played us man to man, and we just sat and ran the ball all day and didn't take any shots out there with our guys.
Coach, talk about your defense.
Yeah, another great showing. 4 games in a row versus an offense coming in here that was averaging 50 points a game, 600 yards a game, and I thought our defense was great today. We had two plays we screwed up. You know, we got beat on a go route on 3rd and 16, I think, and we let a power break out to our left. Otherwise, it's just a lights-out game, and it was really cool to see the way they finished. I mean, so many times Utah State had an opportunity to go score, and our defense just kept going back out there all the way to their last play, the 4th down stop, versus a great quarterback, one that has given people a lot of problems and is going to give people a lot of problems throughout the year.
How concerned are you about the inability of the offense to score touchdowns?
Yeah, I mean, obviously we want to score every time we have it, so we weren't able to do that. We had great field position and didn't finish off drives for whatever reason, different reasons throughout the game. So we'll go back to work, get better, and try to get to 4-1.
Do you feel good about where you are heading to Arizona State?
Well, I wish we were healthier. This is a very beat-up team. These guys are playing a ton of snaps. There's not a lot of rotations going on there. The skilled players on offense, the numbers are just crushed going into the game. I can't imagine anybody in the world plays with numbers like this. So my point of it is these players are playing their tails off, and they're doing everything that they can.
How did you evaluate the special teams play today? It seems like Kadari's been a little off in the punt return game. Hasn't really been able to get as much going so far.
Yeah, up and down. there's some water in that glass. We did stop them on the fake, which was a critical part of the game. Our coverage units pinned them deep too, so we did do some good things. But obviously, there's some things to improve on there, and the field goal obviously was big in the game too.
How would you evaluate your quarterback?
I thought the first half he was doing really well, and then we missed on a couple things. He was getting hit in there. They have a really good rush, and they were blitzing him a lot, and they made some plays. We hit a big play to Nelson, I believe, on the deep cross down there, and then so we come right back, trying to stay explosive and not getting too conservative on the next play, and that's where the sack caused fumble happened. So. It's easy to say just stay explosive and throw the ball downfield, and that's what happens sometimes. You get the negative plays like that, which totally changed the game. That game's getting ready to potentially go 21-7 before half. So did some good things in the first half, and then really got hit a lot in the second half. Did take care of the ball well in the second half. We're just, we're inches away from a couple big plays outside in the man-to-man press game.
Is your offensive line still a work in progress?
Sure. They're still young in the spots that they're at, and they're doing some good things in there. This was a big test for them. I think that's the best team that we've played so far this year. I think that's a really good team right there with a great quarterback and a great rusher, into the boundary, number 9.
Do you think you fixed the passing game? Because last week you said you felt pretty good afterwards. Based on today's game, you still feel like it's...
I mean, that's football. It's going to go up and down, and you can't predict every week just because you assume nothing. You can't. Just because you did something well the week before does not mean it's going to go well again, and doesn't mean if you did it poorly, it's not going to be great the next week. So, where we had a great week the week before, and then this week we were a little bit off, especially in the second half. So, we'll go back to work and do better next time. But at the same time, those guys are in there trying, and Marquise, as I would think you can see, is not 100% in there, or even close to it, and we're just barely missing those plays, and so it becomes that type of day. When we don't win outside and don't hit the balls outside, it becomes a mushy day like that.
You guys really kept Keaton in check as a running threat, really. What was the strategy there?
Really to condense the rushing lanes on them. If you get real wide and rush on them, you may have everybody covered. It's not going to matter because you're going to take off and run, and the first guy usually doesn't tackle him. So I thought Clancy had a great plan going in of condensing the rush lanes against him, really holding the point inside so that you can see him scramble. And then our guys they played their tail off now. That was a physical defense right there, flying around, knocking each other out of the game at one point, Hayes and George. So it's great to see. A lot of the stuff we set out in January to do for this program is taking place.
You said that at the end of the season, no one cares about the scores, just the results. Is that how you kind of look at this game?
No doubt. Nobody remembers that. It's the topic right now for the next 48 hours, and that's fine. But as you look at teams over the years, everybody has games like that early on for the most part. So you got to win those games, and then everybody just says, "Oh well, they found a way to win the game." So we did that today.
How would you compare this defense you have this year with some of the defenses that you had in the early 2003, 2004 seasons?
Well, I think we're going to be tested in some different ways coming up with a lot of really high-powered offenses throughout the rest of the season. Some guys that can really wing it. So today we passed that test and did a great job, and we're going to have to keep doing it again and again. I do think now in our conference, the offenses are better than they used to be against those defenses, and we used to play a lot different style of offenses in this conference with those great defenses, and now you get tested a lot of different ways, and it's a lot harder to have any numbers like we used to nowadays, and fortunately through 4 games we're doing it.
You just said it, and the players have said it, great game plan on defense. How was the offensive game plan when you look back at it now and say, was that what we needed, what we wanted, got the job done?
I thought the first half was going fine until the sack caused fumble. We're playing efficient. We're taking care of the ball. We're completing some balls. We just miss. We have 2 big drops that are going to be really big plays that we miss on, and that make it a really efficient first half. And then the sack caused fumble happens, and that kind of pulls you back a little bit when you see that happen. And it became an 8-man front day, and with press man inside technique. So that goes to fades outside, and for a long time here we've made those plays, and we weren't able to do them today.
Thank you.
Thank you.
George and Cody.
Cody, Coach Gibbons said that they ran an 8-man front against you. Did you?
I'm sorry, what?
That Utah State ran an 8-man front against you. Did they switch their defense through the course of the first half? Because you guys were moving the ball on the ground pretty well.
Yeah, I mean, I think they did a couple things different in the second half, but I mean, they stayed true to what they do, the whole game. And I mean, I give my hats off to them. That's hands down the best defense we've played so far. And I mean, those guys are just just relentless with their rush and with their pass coverage, and they did great. And, obviously, I mean, I missed some throws. We had some drop balls. We had some protection issues, and all around. And, it's stuff that's easy to fix, and we can work on it. And it's only week 4, and we're getting better. And, thankfully for our defense, they did such a great game that they could hold them off, and we put up enough points to get the win.
Coach, were you surprised at how good that fourth and 9, where you just keep trying to scramble toward the end of the game, you drive them down?
Oh, we just had a good plan going the whole week with Coach O for the inside people to push rush and the outside people to line wide and just angle in and rush tight just to keep them in a tight box. So we just did that, and I just came back, came up and under, and just made the play.
Cody, your offense, the defense had a good plan. What do you, when you look at the offensive game plan, do you say, man, if we could have changed some things or whatever? How did it work out?
I feel like we played efficient to where we didn't turn the ball over, except for that sack fumble. But I mean, you want to protect the ball. You protect the ball, you get the win, and you keep them away from getting good field position. And I feel like we did that well. But obviously there's some stuff we missed that we wish we could have had back. And then I mean, obviously we're going to improve on that. We're going to get better, and every week's not going to go as planned. It's not going to go perfect every week, and a lot of people don't realize that. You think, oh, well, they played great last week and they should be perfect this week as an offensive unit. And Utah State did a lot of things that really worked against us, and they pressured the whole game, and they blitzed the whole game. And I think they had a really good scheme for our offense. But like I said, at the end of the day, we got the win, and that's all that matters, and we're 3-1, and now we're moving on to Arizona State.
Cody, were you surprised at how gritty they were on defense? I know you had a difficult time getting the ball to Marquise. I know you had 6 catches. But, I mean, were you surprised at how well they played you on defense?
No, I mean, we knew watching film all week that their front 7, their DBs, were very physical, and their D-line was just relentless, in their rush, and people saw it. And, it kind of takes you out of your game plan. You got to move a little bit more, too, when guys are getting through on the rush. And even not even getting a sack, but hitting me after I throw it, it still makes you have to get a little bit quicker, move around a little bit more, and it kind of throws off timing a little bit. So I think they did a great job disrupting the pass game. But, I mean, at the end of the day, like I said, we had some drops. I missed a couple throws. And, I mean, we're just a few plays away, from having 3 or 4 more touchdowns.
You always talk about being your toughest critic.
Yeah.
Watch film right after the game. Are you feeling frustrated right now about the way you played?
No, not necessarily frustrated. Obviously there's some stuff that I think overall we could have done. But at the end of the day, like I said, we're 3-1 now, and we got the win. But I mean, yeah, obviously it's not good enough to just win. You gotta get better, and you gotta improve. And yeah, definitely, I'm gonna go back, watch film today, and just learn from it. And I think it's a learning experience. And I think we played a lot better though. There's sometimes, there's stuff we could have done better, but I feel like we played good as an offensive unit, not great.
Going back into going on the road into a Pac-12 game at Arizona State, you feel good about where the offense is?
Absolutely, yeah. I feel, and like I said, I just keep reiterating that. People saw me. We had some drops, and I missed maybe a couple throws and some protection stuff that were just right there from having a 250-yard day passing in the air, and 2 or 3 more touchdowns overall as a unit, and that's stuff that we can fix. And yeah, I feel very confident with our offense is at, and you have to feel like that. And I'm excited for the challenge of getting an away game, and it's been nice being at home these last 3 games, but it's exciting to go into someone else's house, I guess, and go compete against them. And Arizona State is a great defense, so it's going to be a good challenge for us.
What needs to improve in order for the offense to really get clicking, really get going, and get Marquise involved in the offense?
Yeah, I think just everything overall, and me putting the ball where it needs to be, catching the ball downfield, and also protection stuff. We had some let-ups in all areas of the game, and again, Trey played great, and the run game was great, but we still can improve in the pass game, and that's just stuff we can work on. And I'm excited, to go back and work on it this week and go back to work, and just get ready for Arizona State.
George, can you talk about the
the third down conversion coming in Utah State, they were like 65% the first 3 games. Today they were somewhere around 30 or less percent. Can you talk about the key plays there in the third downs?
Well, that's just all the scheme. Just due to Coach Pendergrass, he just sets us up every week to just play perfect, and that's what we expect. We just come out here and we just put our uttermost into it. So just like we don't pay attention to the percentage or the stats or anything like that. It's just they still got to play us. They haven't played us. That's our attitude. So we just looking at it as just getting our scheme, just getting what we have to get, and then just getting the job done.
George, you guys have been talking all year about this scheme and how it's different. Take us inside the sideline, the huddle, about the confidence and what it's doing collectively as a defense.
Yeah, we just all feel like we're the best on the field. We take that approach. We work harder than any group. We put everything into it. We give it our all every day, and we just expect to get as much as we can out of it. So just the scheme, I mean, it's not as much as the scheme as it is the players just taking on the attitude and being accountable to themselves.
You guys really? What has to happen for the offense to be able to feel that same way about themselves?
Yeah, I mean, just fix little things, like I said, just fix these little mental and physical mistakes we had in the game. And we're right there like we were last week, and it's just going to be up and down. It's not always going to be a perfect game, and everyone can't expect it to be perfect. And I feel confident as in that was an old-fashioned, football, just smash-mouth game, back and forth, and both defenses played really well. And our offense struggled a little bit at times just with how they played and how their relentless rush, getting to the quarterback and, just leaving those hits on me and getting through some plays. And our offensive line did a great job, and I feel like they did really good. But, there's just little things here and there that we can fix, and we're excited for the challenge, and it's just exciting. We'll see where we're going to be a few weeks on the road, and keep working, keep getting better and where this offense can be, and we know what we can do. But like I said, at the end of the day, we got to win, and we're happy.
George, how do you feel about the defense, again, heading to Arizona State?
I feel good about my defense. We're confident. I already know Coach Pendergrass is going to have a great scheme for us, so we're just going to go out there and execute and just get the job done.